I think I lost my bloody voice. Hello everybody and welcome to the United Stand. Manchester United 1, Chelsea 1. Sweet, sweet, sweet justice. Sweet justice. Put it on your toast like sweet chili jam, because that's what it tastes like. Absolutely fantastic performance. Isn't it funny how football can grab your emotions from, you know what, if that finishes 0-0, I'm probably sat here going, how did we draw that game? We should have won it. Sancho, Rashford, bloody Bruno off the left. What was going on? Our back five have been man of the match. The Varane injuries are bloody terrible thing to happen. And 0-0 I'd have been disappointed with. 1-1, you're like, give it me, grab it me. Justice from the football gods. Because I tell you what, it just, all the logic goes out the window for pure emotion, doesn't it? What a last few minutes. I tell you what, I'm going to be consistent. I'm going to say this because we didn't lose the game because of it anyway. I don't think we did enough to win the game. So a 0-0, 1-1 makes no difference. It's the same score. For me, I absolutely cannot agree that that's a penalty. McTominay's a bloody idiot. McTominay is a bloody stupid dude. What you doing? Like, I don't know what he's doing. I played the game. He's a prat for doing that. He is a prat for grabbing hold of him like that. But I'm telling you now, you watch La Liga or whatever you're going to watch tonight. You can watch Southampton Arsenal with me on That's Football tomorrow afternoon. There will be 3 or 4 times where people grab hold of people in the box and a penalty is not given. Stuart Prattwell is a prat because he's just rewritten the laws. If we're going to have a penalty for every time somebody gets grabbed in the box, and Broho, he goes down easy, which is what I would tell any United player to do now. If you're in the penalty box for a corner and someone touches you, go down. It's a penalty. I know Chelsea fans are going, well, it's definitely a penalty. But next game you're playing and Silva grabs hold of their forward and he goes down, guess what, Chelsea fans? It's a penalty. The reason those penalties don't get given is because it happens all the bloody time. So you can't do it. He nearly cost us 3 points for that stupid decision. But thankfully, Casemiro is one of the greatest players in the world. What a player Casemiro is, by the way. Smash a like on the video for Casemiro. We're so good with Casemiro as our CDM. He gets on the ball, he makes things happen. But the guy gets in the box as well. I mean, not only is he running the midfield and shielding the back four, he gets in the bloody box. He gets in the box and that header's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. And can I just say as well, big shout out for Kepa because he nearly pulls off. I was about to lose my shit. I was going to go mad. How has he done that? He's bloody made a great save. He's tipped it on the post and it's not gone over the line. I thought we were going to have another Goldbridge GDS. That's over the line. Look at the white bit bollocks shit, right? But at the end of the day, Kepa nearly makes a great save, which shows you how good that header is. Absolutely brilliant. We totally did not deserve to lose that game. So I'm over the moon that we didn't. It was absolutely brilliant. I've seen Maguire grab older players hundreds of times, says someone. Yeah, you know, McTominay's an idiot. He shouldn't do that. But Casemiro is a monster, says Nick P. I'm so emotional about that. I'm on bloody Talk Sport at 8 o'clock. I'm going to have Chelsea fans ringing up, going mad. So make sure you join into that on YouTube, Talk Sport as well. Got the fan forum after me as well. Player ratings, mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average. We'll do that in a minute. But look, you know what? We should have won that game. As I try and calm down a little bit, we should have won that game. I'm gutted about Varane. I think this is really pivotal to our season. You know what? I think Potter's a fantastic manager. I'll talk about him in a minute. And I thought, I love Ten Hag, but that Varane injury is going to hurt. It's going to hurt. I mean, look, the game changed when he brought Kovacic on in the first half, but we were still on top. When Varane went off, we weren't on top anymore. I said this in the watch along. We know when you play at lunchtime with your mates and your best player on your team has to go and get his dinner and your heads drop a little bit, or you're playing on a Sunday morning, or you're playing for Man United. When Varane goes off, Martinez thinks, shit, my job's harder. Casemiro thinks it. The forwards think, shit, we're going to have to defend more. They're that good. Martinez and Varane are that good as centre-backs. It's given us the platform for the last few weeks. And when he goes off, all due respect to Lindelof and Maguire, who's coming back, you're just not on that level and you can't play that way. You're not fast. You're not that sort of a centre-back. So it's going to hurt us because how we played against Spurs and how we played against Chelsea in the first half, dominating them, keeping them in their own half with the high line, we can't do that anymore. Everybody drops. Everyone's scared. And it's going to be really interesting to see how we adapt. What Varane's injury is, I don't know. but he was crying. And that to me senses he knows he's out of the World Cup, which means he's out of our next few games and he might not be back before Christmas. So we need to buy a centre-back. You know, we've had a glimpse of how we can play in the last few weeks, but we haven't got a centre-back who can do it like Varane, I don't think. So, you know, that's a major blow. Mark, there's nuances here. McSauce crossed the line, held too much. Don't disrespect me. I've played high level as a centre-back for 16 years. You're the prat, says David. David, jog on. You're not right because you've done a super chat. That's not a penalty. Otherwise, you've got to give 6 or 7 a game. So you can come on with your little gob and your keyboard. Not a penalty. Not a penalty for me. It's hypocrisy. It's a foul. We all know it's a foul, but it happens all the time. If Glazers have a little bit of love for the sport, we need players or it's going to be really difficult to keep up, says Davin. I know, I agree. We've had a glimpse of what we can do at Manchester United over the last 2 games, and we're going to struggle. Varane's going to be a massive loss. You can see putting crosses in will create more chances. We should do it a lot, says Raj. And crosses in the last 6 minutes look so dangerous. Imagine if we do this all match at that frequency, says Harsh. Your website is goosed. Probably too many on trying to give the player ratings. Read the penalty it was, but they are never given. Refs just been consistent, says Rory C. I don't know whether the website is, whether we have got a problem with the website or not, but we will endeavour to have a look about that. Yeah, but we've had a glimpse. But you know what? It's not just about the Varane injury, which I think is a massive loss to us. It's also about Sancho. It's also about Rashford. It's also about Bruno going to the left. We did enough in the first half to win that game. We went to Stamford Bridge. We pinned them in their own half. They couldn't get out. They couldn't hit the long ball because we'd win that as well. They couldn't pass through us because we dominated them. Graham Potter had to make a substitute at home after 35 minutes to try and get hold of the midfield. That's how in control we were. What did we do with that control? Marcus Rashford should have had a hat-trick against Ammonia. He should have had a goal against Newcastle. He should have had 2 against Spurs. And he should have had 1 tonight. And he's got no goals. He's not a number 9. He's a winger. Sancho has been ridiculously average for weeks. Rashford needed to go to the left. Bruno needed to go false 9. Rashford wasn't good today. Sancho was worse. That's why we didn't win the game. The game should have been won in the first half. It should have been over. And it's disappointing. I'll take the point. Of course I'll take the point. But, you know, I'm disappointed. I think first half we should have won the game. But the draw is the right result. The finishing wasn't good enough. And we didn't create enough in the final third. We refused crosses into the box. We don't have anybody who's good in the air. This is a problem. But I felt that, you know, again, Luke Shaw, Delot, Martinez, Varane, Casemiro, fantastic. Eriksen was okay. Bruno was good in the first half. Wasn't very good in the second half when he went to the left. Rashford just isn't a forward. Anthony was good in the first half, disappeared in the second half. Sancho was never any good in the game as far as I was concerned. So you can see why we drew the game. But I also want to give a big shout out to the managers because not many managers will make a change in the 35th minute. And he did. He did make a change, Potter, and it made a big difference to Chelsea. But the same thing with Ten Hag at the start of the second half. To take Sancho off and bring Fred on and to do that early in the second half, again, it shows these managers, Potter and Ten Hag, aren't afraid to make the right decisions. Didn't really work for us, to be honest, but it was the right decision to take Sancho off. Rashford always shoots right at the keeper, says John. Alanga has been more dangerous when he plays. He gives us depth and speed without losing the touch or momentum, says Diego. And hopefully everyone can see how soon Ten Hag can make subs now when Ronaldo is not on the bench. I'm not supporting Ronaldo, but if you see him sitting on the bench, watch Sancho put up that performance, not the first time, says Fizzy. And like I said, Mark, we need to put teams to the sword when we have the upper hand. We need better finishing and we need to stop overplaying it around the box, says Suradeep. It's a mixed bag for me now. It is really a mixed bag. I'm really, really content with the points because I thought it was going to get taken away from us and we deserved the points. But I'm worried, I'm worried about the Varane thing. I'm worried about the striker thing. Martial's still not fit. What's the issue with Ronaldo? The Rashford thing is as a striker doesn't work. But we got what we deserved out of the game and maybe we deserved a little bit more, but I think a draw was fair at the end. Attack died the minute we entered the final third, says Caleb. I agree. But look, the positive is next few games are winnable. West Ham at home. I think we've got Fulham away, I think we've got West Ham at home, Villa away, and then Fulham at home. So you'd hope we'd win that. And then after the World Cup, we've got Forest, Bournemouth and Wolves. So we've got winnable games that if we play like that, even without Varane, we should still have enough to beat them. Because we've been to Stamford Bridge and played them off the park for 45 minutes. We've played Spurs off the park at Old Trafford. So if we can keep... And the good thing about these performances is they're not really individual based. It's a team thing. So, you know, Caleb said we were not very good in the final third, but we still kept Chelsea in their own half. If we can adapt in some way to sticking a plaster over the Varane thing, then I think we can pick up some more points and get into this battle for top four, which I think is our pinnacle this season. The result of the game is one thing. We must not lose sight that United, for the first time in a long, long time, was the winning midfield battle, so much so that they forced the first half sub. Exactly, veteran. And Casemiro is so pivotal to that, and it's ironic and fitting that he scored the goal as well. It's a penalty. The ball was going straight for Broho. You're wrong with people not close to the ball being dragged down. It matters who gets fouled, says Gustav. I completely disagree with you, mate. I completely disagree with you. I think if we're giving penalties for that, then we should be giving 4 or 5 a game. Once again, we need a centre-back, midfielder, striker and more. Do you think we'll get these, Mark? No, Christian, not before the summer. I was low-key sad when Varane went off. I was high-key sad when Varane went off, Mr. Sue, and I think it affected the whole team. This is my first Super Chat ever on any channel. Ten Hag has got me excited about Man United, says Chinang. And do you think Ten Hag will take heat now since he suspended Ronaldo? No. I don't think we should even be talking about Ronaldo, Jap. We nearly lost the game because of a dodgy refereeing decision. A point at Chelsea is not a bad point. So, you know, I'm not in any way sort of moaning about that performance. I think it was a good performance from Manchester United, and I think we got what we deserved in the end. Yeah. But anyway, look, I'm going to do the player ratings. It's a little bit slow, apparently, but it should load up for us. Let's have a look. Yep, okay. It will take a moment, but I think it's busy on there. So we're going to go through the player ratings. Here we go. Let's battle through. So make sure you smash a like on the video. I think we all know who man of the match is going to be. And please do subscribe to the channel. We're very close to 514,000. We've got the fan forum coming up after this as well. So, you know what? Today, De Gea, I don't think he was anywhere near as good as what he was against Spurs. But there wasn't that much distribution going on. So I'd give him a 6. Didn't really have anything to do. Couldn't do anything on the penalty. I think the low for me was a 6.5 today. 6.6, yeah. I thought first half really good. Second half, Varane went off. They did start getting at us down that right-hand side. But you know what I'd say about Dalot is what I'll keep on saying about Dalot. He's played 4 90-minute games in 9 days. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And at some point, there's almost got to be a frustration here. I'd love someone to clip this and put it, because I would love to know what United fans think about this. At some point, we've got to get frustrated. We have shown in the last 2 games that we can dominate teams in the top 4 at their ground and at Old Trafford. Good teams pinned into their own half, relentless midfield and high-line defence pressure. We've shown the potential under Ten Hag, and yet he's got no striking options. Centre-back, we're weak if we lose Varane. We've got no right-back option. There's no wing options. Like, we don't have a big enough squad, and yet we've got a manager who can get us playing like that. It's frustrating, and Dalot epitomises that. 4 games in 4 90-minute games in 9 days. It's ridiculous what some of these players are having to do and the resources that Erik Ten Hag has got. Like, we don't have enough up in the front 3, and we don't have enough at centre-back, and we don't have enough at right-back by a long way. And that's the thing that worries me over the next few days and weeks, is that squad. This is sad. This could be the last time we see him for quite a while, but I think up until the injury, him and Martinez are pivotal as to why we've been so good and why we can play that high line and why we dominate teams high up the pitch. I'm just hoping it's not a bad injury, but I think Rafael Varane knows his own body better than we do, and I think he knows he's out the World Cup. I'll probably give a 7.5 to Martinez. Again, I think him and Varane were fantastic. So yeah, disappointed about that. About Varane, but Martinez was solid again, absolutely rock solid. Would be a contender for man of the match if there wasn't a standout. And I thought Luke Shaw was good today. I'd probably give him a 7. You know, he got the assist on the goal as well, don't forget. It was his cross that went in, and it was a lovely cross. He was competitive. He was aggressive. Great stamina. Yeah, I thought Luke Shaw played very well today, so I'd give him a 7 as well. Casemiro, 8.2 for you. I've gone light. I mean, the guy makes such a difference to the team. The only contradiction for me is that Eriksen comes into the team, even though Fred played well, but we had to wait a month for Casemiro because Ten Hag said you can't change a winning team. And then he changes a winning team to get Eriksen back in. What could have happened if we got Casemiro in a month before? This guy's on a different level. You know, you put Casemiro in the midfield against Chelsea. He's the best player on the pitch. He is world class. And it's because of him we've got a point that we deserved. He's unbelievable player. Absolutely unbelievable player. People are saying he should have a 9. Well, whatever he has. He was number 1 in the chart show this morning, and he's the bloody man of the match for me. Stunning player. Absolutely stunning player. So good. We've needed a CDM for years. We haven't just got a CDM. We've got one of the best CDMs in the world. Fantastic player. Absolutely brilliant. Eriksen, probably a 6 today. You know, should Eriksen have started over Fred? For me, yes, he should. He's a better player. It must have been a close call, but, you know, Ten Hag loves Eriksen. In the first half, we had 60% possession and we dominated Chelsea. So anybody who says Eriksen didn't play well and it was a mistake, if Rashford scores those chances, we're 2-0 up at half-time. If Anthony scores, we're 3-0 up. We dominated them in the first half. You can't ignore the fact that Eriksen played well in the first half. He faded in the second half. With that quality of heading we have, can someone explain why every corner for us is a short corner? Great game and deserved a win, says Sid T. Bruno was probably a 6. I think, again, in the first half he was very good, and in the second half he failed. Putting Bruno on the left wing was a bad idea. We should have played Bruno as a false 9 and put Rashford on the left. But, you know, the substitution of Sancho was correct, but we should have put Bruno onto the left, keep Bruno in the middle. Keep Bruno in the middle. That's what I would have done. Second half he faded. Same for Anthony for me. I thought Anthony in the first half was winning the battle with Chilwell. And in the second half, he disappeared. But I think Chelsea came out tactically better in the second half. The half-time helped them, and Potter's a good manager, and he dealt with the problems. And then the Varane injury, it killed the momentum for us. So, yeah, we do miss Martial, but we can't count on Martial because he's never bloody fit. Sancho, I mean, you've got to say 5. 4.3 for you. I mean, I probably wouldn't go that low, but I don't get it with Sancho. He got dropped, didn't he? He didn't play against Everton and we won. And then he found his way back into the team by not playing well, and he's still not playing well. He needs an extended period on the bench. He can't just be on the bench for one game and then back in. I know we're short of options, but don't tell me that Pellistri or Elanga can't offer more than Sancho at the moment. He's really not doing the job. And Azpilicueta should have been a player that you fancied playing against today. I mean, Azpilicueta's coming towards the end of his career. You should have had him. He should have been at him, and he didn't. It was a poor performance. I hope Casemiro's aerial dominance on defence will give Erik ten Hag the confidence not to bring on a McTominay in a tight contest, as Rob. Yeah. So, yeah, Sancho was not great today. Rashford, I'd probably give him a 5.5. I wouldn't go as low as 4.5. I mean, look, Rashford's always dangerous. The pace is always dangerous. But his finishing over the last 4 games has been abysmal. And why is he still going for power? Why is nobody telling him to go for placement? You know, power is not going to work. It will work sometimes, but not consistently. And the fact that Ten Hag subbed him off with 10 minutes to go when you're trying to win a game shows you how bad Ten Hag thought Rashford was today. Get Rashford back on the left wing. Sancho's having a nightmare. Rashford back on the left wing. But who do you play up front? You know, are you going to bring Ronaldo back in? Martial's not fit. We have got no depth. This is the problem. We're now going to have Lindelof or Maguire playing at centre-back, which weakens us. We've got no backup at right-back. And now we're having to play Rashford through the middle because we've got no forwards. We need more depth. We need more players. Fred, probably 6. Didn't really do much for me. Lindelof was okay at 6. McTominay a 4. I mean, could have cost us the bloody game. I don't think it is a penalty. I really don't. But he shouldn't be doing that. He shouldn't be doing that. You know, I will say I don't think it's a penalty. But McTominay is an idiot for doing that. An absolute idiot. And you know what? He's come off the bench late on. Our players have worked their arse off. And you come off the bench and do that. It's irresponsible. It's pure stupidity. I don't think it is a penalty, but it is a foul. And I know that sounds like a contradiction, but you shouldn't get penalties for that. But he is all over him, and he shouldn't do it. So, yeah, McTominay nearly cost us the game. I thought Elanga looked all right when he came on. And then Erik Ten Hag, for me, look, I mean, I won't mess about. I'll give him a 7. I don't know why people are giving him a 6, right? First half, we were brilliant. Brilliance. Dominated them. Brilliant first half. Ten Hag can't finish. It's not his job to finish. That's on the striker. He's got nobody else. He's completely right to suspend Ronaldo. I don't want anybody saying, well, Ronaldo should have been on the bench. Fucking no. Ronaldo should be suspended for this game. He shouldn't have done what he did. So we were brilliant in the first half. Second half, Varane gets injured, which weakens us. He subs Sancho for Fred, which was the right thing to do. He probably should have put Rashford on the left and Bruno through the middle. But we did enough to win that game. We had the better chances. We've drawn at Chelsea. We played really, really well. I think Ten Hag deserves a 7. We're desperate for a striker. Get Osman, says Joel. Rashford. I've got loads of people telling me it's a penalty. Look, you can't change my mind. Call in to me. Call in at 8 o'clock on TalkSport and tell me why it's a penalty. And I'll tell you why it's not. I've watched football for decades. I've seen that happen 3 or 4 times a game, every game. People grabbing hold of each other and it's never a penalty. I've now got people telling me, but he grabbed onto him too much. Bullshit. It's a foul if you grab onto someone. So every time it's got to be a penalty. The reason they're not given is because you'd give so many away. I don't think it's a penalty. If you do, it's up to you. But you know what? If you do think it's a penalty, you know what you can do? You can kiss my ass. You can kiss my big ass because it's 1-1. You didn't bloody win. So I tell you what, here's a discovery. Get on the Discovery Channel because you'll find something. I don't give a shit if it's a penalty because your scammy, jokey little penalty didn't get you the win anyway. Casemiro, your dodgy penalty didn't scam you the win anyway because Casemiro came to town and instead of it being 0-0, which it should have been, it finished 1-1. So you can moan about your penalty all you like. You didn't fucking win. It was a draw because of Casemiro. GDS on the download. Over the line. 1-1. Love it. Love it. I don't know why we're going on about the penalty. What are we going on about the penalty for? Your little cheaty plan didn't work. 1-1. Casemiro. Get in. Right, anyway, I've got to go over to TalkSport. This is going to be fantastic, isn't it, on TalkSport, because I'm going to get loads of people calling in and listening in. I will be on TalkSport's YouTube channel as well, so make sure you check it out. The fan forum's just about to kick off now as well. I'll see you on TalkSport in 10 minutes. Check out the fan forum. I'll speak to you all in a bit. Thanks for watching. Smash a like on the video for the King, Casemiro. What a guy. What a guy. Take care, everyone. Speak to you soon.